Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us here on 9 News Watch. I'm Meteorologist Chris Bianchi with a detailed look at our upcoming or ongoing snowstorm, depending on exactly where you are in Colorado. So at this point, we got winter storm warnings in place for Denver and most of the immediate metro area, and then winter weather advisories in that teal shaded map, and the teal shading portion of that map, just the west and south of Denver. Now we're anticipating about 4 to 8 inches of snow for us here in Denver proper. I'll have more details and hyper kind of local details on our snow totals here in just a second, but into the mountains, 5 to 10 inches for us into the foothills, and that does include a good chunk of the I-70 mountains as well. That is good news. The mountains really needing that snowfall, but a lot of the focus will be here in Denver, where, depending on where you are, those first flakes are probably starting to fly for many of us at this point, probably from I-25 on west. Starting to see those first flakes flying here in the Denver metro area. And then as we head later on through the afternoon into the evening hours, that's when that snow really picks up in intensity, and we'll see that snow really, again, kind of ratchet up over the next 2 to 3 hours. In fact, starting to see some signs of that right now here in the immediate metro area. Now into the mountains, that's where we've seen the heaviest snow so far today. But you might notice those bands of snow working their way on in from north to south, and that is going to be the main focal point for a lot of that action as we head over the next 2 to 3 hours in the immediate Denver area. So you might notice outside right now, Denver not seeing, at least downtown, not seeing a whole lot in the way of snow, but off to our north and our west, that's where we're seeing those bands first starting to develop. Those will push their way on in from northwest to southeast over the course of the next hour or two. Again, if you're not seeing snow right now, it's probably just a few moments time until it does start to fall. Starting to see some of that heavier snow into the foothills, just the west of Denver. And it looks like out by DIA, a pretty good little band work its way into your region. So may start to see some impacts out at the airport over the next hour or two. Meantime, as we head over the next couple of hours, we're certainly going to see a lot of impacts to area roadways with the potential for very heavy snow, especially in the back half of our evening commute. My main concern point will be between about 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. tonight. And I think there's going to be a big difference in terms of what we see between 3 and 4 compared to what we see between, say, 5 and 6. So as soon as that sun goes down, those temperatures are really going to fall, and that snow will start to stick. 3 things are basically going to happen around 5 o'clock this afternoon. And in fact, let's push this back just a little bit so you can see what it looks like right around 5 o'clock here statewide. 3 things happen at 5 o'clock. 1, heavier snow itself moves into Denver. 2, the sun sets. Well, the sun technically sets a little after 5:30, but the sun very low on the horizon, so that'll reduce the amount of heat it's leading to in the area. And as a result of that, temperatures will fall. So colder temperatures, less of a sun angle, heavier snow, all coinciding right around 5 o'clock. And that's why I think that's when we're going to start to see those really big impacts start to affect us here in the Denver area. Then between about, again, 5 and 10, the heaviest snow moves its way on through. By about midnight tonight, that snow starts to wind down from north to south statewide. By about 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, the snow over and done with. But in the immediate metro area, as I mentioned, the snow already starting to fall as we head over the course of the next hour or two. Everyone's seeing accumulating snow, and by about 4 or 5 or so, that's when that snow starts to stick to the roadways, and those traffic impacts will really ratchet on up. Again, between about 4:30 and 6 o'clock is when we'll start to see that snow sticking on the roads and leading to pretty drastic impacts in the immediate Denver metro area. Then that snow continues between 5 and 10 tonight. If you got any sort of, I don't know, optional plans, I'm thinking a happy hour or a dinner. In fact, I'll tell you what, I personally canceled dinner plans with a friend tonight because of the snow. So I would suggest you do so as well. And just, you know what, have some chili, kick it at home. 9 News and chill tonight because it's going to be pretty darn snowy, especially by about, again, 8, 9, 10 o'clock or so tonight. Then that snow winds on down from north to south from midnight to 3 a.m. And by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, again, that snow long done here in the metro area. So that leads to the big question everyone wants to know. How much snow are we going to get? And the answer is quite a bit of it, especially from I-25 on west. Here's a look at what we can expect in terms of those forecast snow totals. Looking for about 4 to 8 inches of snow from I-25 on west, and really that covers most of the city. And there will be some localized banding, and that could push us up into the 8-inch range. I think about 6 inches does it here in downtown Denver. Out by the airport, closer to about 4 or 5 inches. And then west of town, I'm talking Golden, Arvada, Evergreen, Conifer, Bailey, Morrison, on north through Boulder. That's where we're starting to get closer to those kind of 7, 8, maybe even 9, 10-inch totals once all said and done. By the way, would not be surprised at all to see a localized 11, 12-inch total out of this because of those bands. Now, in terms of temperatures right now, that's a big part of the equation here, folks. Temperatures only topping out at 30 degrees in Denver today. That is why I do think we will be looking at maybe a bit more accumulation because temperatures have been below freezing all day long, and that's making it more favorable for that snow to stick a bit more quickly. By, again, that time that sun sets, those temperatures will tumble, the sun angle falls, and that'll lead to higher accumulations for us here in the Denver area. All right, snowfall. How much have we seen so far this season? Almost all of this has come since January the 1st, so the last 45, 46 days or so. We've seen about 2 feet worth of snow officially at DIA, by the way, at the Central Park Station, a bit closer to downtown. We're about 29 inches of season-to-date snowfall. We're going to add a couple inches to this total, little doubt about that, and probably, again, about 4 or 5 inches at DIA, downtown close to about 6, 7 inches on top of these existing totals. And by the way, we're not done with the snow even past this current event. As we get into the weekend, we'll be talking about temperatures near 60 degrees. They'll melt off whatever snow we get tonight and early tomorrow. And then by early next week, guess what? More snow on its way. And this will be accompanied by much colder temperatures than what we've been looking at. Even with this snowstorm, it's not going to be a particularly cold snowstorm that we get tonight. Next week's will be a lot colder with lows down into the single digits. So the big stories as we kind of round things on out here. Snow, if it's not snowing where you are right now, it's probably momentarily, at least here in the Denver metro area. And then as we get over the next few hours, between about 3 and 4 is when that snow starts to stick on grassy surfaces, on car tops in Denver. And then between about 4:30 and 6 is when I think we'll start to see those conditions on the roads really go downhill. And that'll be thanks to colder temperatures, the setting sun, and heavier snow itself moving its way into the picture, ending up with about 4 to 8 inches of snow here in Denver, higher amounts as you get into the foothills and lower amounts north and east of the city. So hopefully it gives you a good idea about what we've got, what we can expect here as we head over the next little while, and what to expect. So make sure you stay safe out there. Keep it here on 9 News Watch. I'm Meteorologist Chris Bianchi. We'll have continued updates on 9 News coming up at 3, 4, and 5 o'clock, as well as at 9 and 10 tonight as well. I'm Meteorologist Chris Bianchi, and have a great rest of your day.